Hello world, and welcome to Ctrl+Alt+Danominator. My name is Dan, and this is the device. And this is the device. And this is the device. And this, hello Moto. The council will see you now. All right guys, I know what you're thinking, but I promise you this is not a sponsored video. I bought these. Actually, I bought this, and these came with it, or I wouldn't have... You. We'll get to you. There's a bit of a story behind this, and I know, oh gosh, he's not gonna get straight to the point and unbox everything right away. Oh no, my video retention rate, what am I gonna do? Guys, I'm sorry, I know, I've gotten comments about this before. I'm a storyteller. I like to give people an idea of why I'm using the things I am and what brought me to the point that I am, so people know I'm not like some Android purist who just buys anything they release. I really don't. I keep a certain amount of money stashed away for tech releases. So basically stuff like this. And I don't use it very often because I want to wait for something really good. This is the really good, partially because it's given me so much more tech to talk about all at once. I'm not trying to advertise for them, but Motorola's kind of been on a roll lately. I mean, you guys already know I've been talking about them for a while. Here's my original G Stylus from 2020. Okay. That's new. Can you tell I loved this thing? This was my first smartphone. Before then I had a flip phone. I loved it, but eventually I had to keep up with the times, so this was my first. And you know what? Not a bad first smartphone. Obviously, the processor's not great. The battery has not really held up well over the years, especially after I stopped keeping an eye on it, so it's even worse now. I could barely use this as an MP3 player without having to baby it constantly. But for a first phone, this was pretty good, man. I mean, the stylus was just okay. They'd still been working on figuring out how to use this mesh tip type stuff to make something capacitive that still felt good to use, and then when you put a screen protector on it, it would kind of be worse. But from what I understand, the stylus in Moto G Stylus has actually improved quite a bit. This one's interesting because it's the first Moto G Stylus with an active pen. So it's not just a little mesh tip anymore. There's a battery in this thing which enables extra features, and you know what I'm thinking? Aw yeah, S Pen is back, baby. I don't think people understand just how much I love this thing. I rely on the S Pen for so much, starting and stopping my video recordings. I'll do it right now if I'm not careful. When Samsung starts killing off features, I suddenly find an interest in just looking elsewhere for phones. Now, my S23 Ultra is doing fine for the most part, but it has started to age after 3 years. I know, you wouldn't think so because it's an Ultra phone and they should last a long time. Guess what started happening to it? The back glass of the S23 Ultra that is currently filming this video has started peeling off the phone because apparently the entire shape, the entire frame of the phone has started to bend. What are you talking about? I baby all of my technology. I mean, cripes, I put this thing in one of the gross otter boxes for goodness sake, and that was with a screen protector on top of that. I take care of my tech because I have to, and because I don't want it to be completely useless when I'm done with it, because someone else might be able to use it in the future. So I keep cases on everything. My S23 Ultra is always in a case and a screen protector, which is an absolute pain to put on because of the curved screen, but that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is, I have no idea. Sorry, I briefly just felt the need to dethrone the council leader. I have no idea exactly why the back glass of S23 Ultra phones starts to peel off after a certain amount of time. Bad adhesive, I guess. Apparently mine will never go back on fully because of the slightly bent frame, and we're talking like a hair of bending. I can't tell where it is. I've looked everywhere. I brought the thing to U-Break iFix twice, and they've tried to reapply the adhesive and even put some new stuff on there, which is very kind of them because they could have charged me for that and they decided not to, but it's still a problem. I'm worried because this thing is no longer waterproof. No matter how much I love this phone, it is one bad water drop away from being completely annihilated. And unfortunately, This is not a good backup phone for me anymore. It's just too slow. It doesn't keep up with me. I use maps all the time. I need good performance. This thing's out of Android updates, obviously. Not that I care too much about that. I more just need the processor and the RAM to keep up with me. This thing did not have a lot of that, admittedly. I think it had like 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is criminal in basically any device nowadays. You basically need 6 or 8 or even 12 like my S23 Ultra does. But the point being, not only do I need a backup phone, but I'm starting to find the need for more tech that I haven't had before as well, or even replacing some of it. I reviewed my Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 a little while ago. That is still my main watch, but unfortunately, that one's starting to get a little sluggish too, as you saw in my review of that. I am not crazy about the performance of it. It does not always keep up with me in the way that I need it to. So this being included as a free gift with this guy after a trade-in, perfect. Okay. How about the tag? I've never actually had a tracking tag before, and since I lost my Galaxy Buds Pro 2 a while back, I was just thinking maybe this would be good to have in my headphone pouch perhaps, despite smart things, so, you know, that's a nice little extra. What do you think? I'm gonna sell these, man. These kind of earbuds have always interested me, but they're sort of just weird. I don't know why they're made this way. I don't know why they have dumb crystal thingies on them. They look like they were put on there by, you know, a bedazzler with like one of those craft kits that you see with 5-year-olds, but it certainly is a fashion choice. Whatever, it's money back, I guess. So, why did I even bother getting this? A Motorola G Stylus these days can cost you up to $600. I'm sorry. No, absolutely not. These phones are great, especially for Android beginners, and I would argue that the Stylus is the best one to get every year because it just has that extra little edge to it. Not the Motorola edge, let's not kid ourselves, but it's pretty good. It generally has a semi-decent processor, which is enough to get you through a day. They have pretty good battery life. The RAM is generally alright, and it still has a headphone jack and an SD card slot. Why is everybody killing this off except Motorola? What is the excuse, guys? Come on, we all know it's to sell more cloud storage and other garbage you don't need, but holy cow, why is this still going on? Sorry, today is the day of tangents apparently. You're getting a lot of tangents from me. The point I'm trying to make is, I need this thing to be my backup phone, and it's basically the perfect one because it gives me a lot of the stuff I have in an S23 Ultra. So I can have my contacts backed up to it, I can just pop my SIM card in there if I ever need this thing to get repaired, which, let's be honest, is pretty likely nowadays given how things are going with that back glass. And then I got all these for free. Pretty hard to complain about that, but this bundle was unfortunately not without sacrifice. Yeah, I know. Okay, look, just bear with me here, okay? Ever since I had that bad experience with the Clicks keyboard, I've been trying to figure out how to work this thing into my daily life. I really have been. I even bought a case for it, and that eventually got returned. I just sold the Clicks keyboard, and this phone, I've tried to make use of it. I really have. I don't have a problem with the screen. The screen is perfectly fine, but that crease in the middle, even though you can't feel it much, is still annoying to me. And you know what? I think part of the reason that this has not worked itself into my daily carry as a secondary device is because I was spoiled by this thing. Cripes, we're really going for the record of having as many devices on screen today. Here, I'll add one more for good measure. I got spoiled by the Surface Duo line of devices. They are not perfect, they got problems, especially the first one by now. The processor's really starting to struggle keeping up with most applications. But once you've tried one of these, it's hard to try one of these. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not taking good pictures with this thing at all. But the Razr is just not my thing, I think. I know this sounds weird coming from a guy who literally just uploaded a video about this thing like 4 months ago, but remember, this channel was supposed to launch a while ago, so I actually got this phone about a year and a half ago for a super good deal. It was, I believe, about $350, which is really good for a Razr Plus, and the performance on it has generally been pretty good. The battery was all right when it didn't have the Clicks keyboard hooked up to it. This is a solid phone, it really is. So why am I trading it in? I don't use it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I got this thing entirely to try out foldable phones and to find out if Click's keyboard was right for me. Now, the Click's Power keyboard looks slightly better, but it's basically the same size keys. And I'm sorry, again, I have big hands, so that device, that accessory was not really made for me either. It's not a big deal, it's really not. I don't hate Clicks or anything. People got really up in arms when I dared to criticize that keyboard, man. I'm sorry, I hate to disappoint people, but an accessory as specific as a phone keyboard is not gonna have the same appeal for everybody. It needs to work for them. This is a really cool concept. It really is, having a keyboard at the bottom here, but I can't show it to you because I got fed up with it and I eventually just sold it off. Yeah, this thing is just a square now, and it's a nice little square, but here's the thing. Motorola, and I know I sound like I'm advertising them, but I'm not, they have a pretty good deal going on right now where they will cover a vast amount of trade-in money that you wouldn't get otherwise for trading something into their website. This razor, combined with the amount that they offered, which I believe was $100, that's not great, admittedly. I would like to think this is worth more than that. However, they actually give you $150 off plus whatever phone you trade in. And seeing as this thing was literally purchased just to test out a keyboard and to try out a folding phone for as cheap as possible, and it also happens to be carrier locked to a carrier I don't use because I was literally just using this as a secondary device, I'm getting $265 off of the whole package for this. So not only do I get this for less than 400 bucks, which is pretty good, I would say, these guys are what make it worth it, because I have a replacement for my Galaxy Watch 3, assuming this turns out to be really good, and I certainly hope it is. I have a brand new tracking tag, and I can get some money back selling these idiots, but we're still gonna take a look at them anyway. So there, that is the reason that all of this is happening, which means you guys get a whole bunch of new tech to look at. First, that trade-in deal thing that I was talking about earlier. Now they're working with Polar to make a watch. They're working with Bose to make earbuds. They're making their own tracking tags. I don't know what's going on with them, man, but I guess Lenovo has decided to kick the Moto brand into high gear this year. Cripes, we got the Razr Fold coming out soon. I really wanted to save up for that, but I don't know, I'm starting to think foldables just don't have that kind of appeal to me because I got spoiled by two-screen devices. So yeah, I've decided to go with this instead, not only to have this as a backup phone, an MP3 player when I run, because yes, it is actually smaller than my S23 Ultra, not only to have a new watch, not only to get some more money back from the earbuds and have a tracking tag, but just in general to support this new line of stuff that Motorola is doing. And the biggest reason I'm supporting them right now with a brand new bunch of devices, I really think we need to watch them this year with Graphene OS. That is a big deal, man. Using a different kind of Android software that we can probably just officially put on these things later, that is incredible, especially with how Google is going nowadays. I do not like what Android is doing lately, so custom ROM support by one of the major companies selling these phones in the US, yes, please. That is incredible. I should make this known, I don't hold loyalty to any company because that's dumb, don't do that. However, I do like to follow the ones that are doing a good job and treating their customers correctly. This being a $600 phone is absolutely not worth it. I don't care how much internal storage it is. I don't care about the headphone jack and SD card being worth more in this day and age. I don't know if that's what they're thinking. I don't know if they think that the active pen is enough to sell this for that much. Don't get this for that much. If you can get a good trade-in, do it. If you can potentially wait for a sale, because these Motorola phones go on sale all the time, just wait for that. Don't do what I'm doing. However, I'm hoping that I can get you a good review of all of these devices in the future, and maybe even future coverage, just like smaller videos talking about them. Complete honesty, the watch is the thing I'm looking forward most to trying out. I've been trying to find a replacement for my Galaxy Watch for a while now, and all of the OnePlus watches disappeared. Mobvoi Tick watches apparently aren't being sold in the US anymore. We just aren't having a lot of Wear OS alternatives lately. So I want to see what this thing's about, but we're gonna try all of these except for maybe the sparkly doodads over here. I don't know why we couldn't get the green ones, man. I really wish that had been included in the bundle. We should probably unbox these now before I go off on yet another tangent. All right, goodbye, Moto. You'll come back later. Let me just stack these up somewhere where they probably won't fall over and explode. Gosh. All right, let's take a look at this guy first. All right, yoink. Da-da-da-da. Now, if you saw one of my earlier videos, you know I just got the 2025 from my dad recently, and that's actually very similar to this, minus the pen change, so that's gonna be kind of interesting. All right, let's take a look here. All right, looks pretty smart, I guess. It's definitely simple. It's not meant to go crazy on you or anything, but yeah, it's meant to be more relaxed color, which it does feel nice. It feels nice to hold. This is, let's see if I compare it to the original Moto G Stylus. Somehow these things have gotten even taller since then, which is insane to me. Look at this. This is ones without a case and it's basically the same size. But I guess that is one of kind of the draws of Motorola phones, is you get a nice tall phone. Take a look at this guy. Ooh, you know what? Huh, that's bigger than an S Pen. Here, you know what? I can't show you my S23 Ultra because it's recording this, but let's do a comparison here. Interesting. We've got a little, yeah, button, basically the same. Wow, they're really trying to compete, aren't they? You couldn't be more direct than that. There's a little metal bit on each side of the stylus. That's different. And then we've also got a little, what is that? It's like a little border around the button. I don't think that lights up or anything. I'm just wondering what it does. Yeah, they feel pretty similar. This one's a little thicker, which is actually kind of nice. I don't mind having a little extra thickness on it. It almost makes it feel shorter because I'm used to this thing feeling like such a slim little stick, but yeah, feels nice. I'm looking forward to using this actually. I'm really excited to get some mileage out of that. I can't live without a stylus on my phone now. That's this thing's fault, but it's also technically this thing's fault. Let's get this out of here. Fly, be free. Perfect. All right, gee, I wonder what's gonna be in here. Oh, perfect. An advertisement to buy the charging brick they don't give you anymore. Gosh, no matter how much I like what Motorola is doing, even they've given up on the charging brick. Nobody cares to give those to people anymore. All right, yep, that's a USB-C cable. It's got that Lenovo red on the inside. That's kind of interesting. Does this have a SIM tool? Wow, have they really? Ah, there we go. For a second, I thought they stopped giving those out too. Yay! They won't give me a charger brick, but they will give me more garbage I will never need. All right, cool. Looking forward to putting a case and screen protector on this. This is basically a perfect backup phone for me. We'll have to see how the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 does on this. Admittedly, that's kind of weak sauce, man. If I wasn't getting this for such a good deal, I would have poo-pooed that a lot because, like, come on, we gotta be up to 7 or 8 by now. Can you imagine this thing with an 8 Gen 2? That'd be fantastic. Whatever, not a big deal. I will live with it. Away! Gosh, you have no idea how much cleanup I have to do after these videos. All right, we'll go from least to most interesting next, I guess. So yeah, let's talk about the Moto Tag. I'm very curious to see how big these things are. Like, I've seen AirTags before. I know what they look like, but I've never bothered getting one of these because I'm generally really careful with my stuff. It surprised me when I permanently lost the thing that I lost in my Buds Pro 2. I still miss the old ones, even though I literally just got a new pair of them refurbished. All right, there we go. Yeah, not much to say about it. It definitely feels like it's a budget little fella, and it's got a button cell battery in there, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Oh, it's like layered cardboard for the box. That's kind of cool, I guess. Ah, there we go. All the ways you're signing your life away when you download the app that probably uses this. Gonna have to experiment with that guy later. We'll have to do a little video tracking it or something perhaps. All right, we gotta be more careful with this box, but apparently I was trying to open it incorrectly earlier, so yeah, that just comes off like that. Oh, fortunately I can clean the backing of it. Okay, that's fine. So I don't need to worry about that. Here, just tiny little tag bit. Away! This just isn't my thing. I don't know anybody who could really use something like these, so I'm just gonna assume that I'm not gonna ever need these. I might as well just take them straight to eBay. Crystals by Swarovski. All right. What color is this supposed to be, man? This is weird. All right, I gotta be real careful because I gotta reseal all of this later so it's still presentable, even though I'm gonna list it as open box. And that ripped. Perfect. All right. Wow. Oh, very, very reflective. It's not really showing up well on camera what kind of color this is, but it's much dimmer. It's much dimmer if you can see that. Let me see if I can get my autofocus to like me a little more. Yeah, that's close to accurate. It's almost like it's rose goldy, not crazy about that. Case doesn't feel super sturdy either. These aren't sold for that much from what I understand. All right, yep, there are the sparkly doodads. Hi, welcome back. So the moment I opened these, my S23 Ultra said, hey, would you like to connect a pair of earbuds? And it stopped my recording. Oh, the convenience of modern technology ruining everything. These are certainly a choice. Is this a design that people really like, man? I mean, like, even if it was in a different color, I have to question if I would actually enjoy having these on. And it feels kind of flimsy too. I don't know, man, I don't get it. I just don't think this kind of thing's for me, even without the funny crystals, which I would just rip off if I could. I don't know, that would be kind of funny. Nah, all right. Well, that's all that there is to see with these. They're not that impressive. I don't even think you get a secondary cable in here. Oh, okay. Ah, our fancy loyalty card, I guess. Please don't ruin the resale value. There is no cable in here. Nope, they don't even bother anymore. I don't know if this is like an exclusive thing, getting these earbuds with the phone, and so they just didn't bother putting a cable in there. I highly doubt that. That doesn't sound correct to me. All right, pretty unremarkable to at least my kind of person. I will never use these, but who knows, maybe they'll let me swap them out for the green ones if I ask nicely. Somehow I sincerely doubt that. All right, the semi-main event. I'm really wondering about this guy. Let's see how they, oh, okay. I mean, what do I even need to say about this? Everybody does Apple stuff now. Okay, so now this will open, right? No? Oh, this is... Oh, it has like, wait a minute, there's a second adhesive to go with your adhesive, just in case you didn't feel like you had enough adhesive. Do you like the word adhesive? You better. What? Oh, well, all right, sure, that's interesting. I don't know if that was intended to be boxed that way. Open this. Oh, there goes my cable. Okay, we have a charging puck, good. I'm curious if the puck can be detached from the cable. That was a cool thing OnePlus did. No, it looks like it is just a standard puck. Take this off. All right, it just cradles in there. Cool, gotcha. So this is non-detachable, so the puck is not its own separate thing, which is kind of a bummer, but I guess I get it. It's not really that big of a deal. And now this guy. Let's find out how, wow, oh my goodness, this is actually really big. I thought my Galaxy Watch was huge. Okay, not that I mind that, because if like the main thing to like about this is having a big display, then I can't complain. My Watch 3 is good, but I would not mind it having a slightly bigger screen. So this might actually be really nice for me. Ooh, huh, this actually protrudes. Whoa, that's, you guys seeing that? That's weird, man. So it protrudes inward kind of, but the screen is also like one big piece here. This is really interesting, huh? The way that they put that together is, it makes me want to get a screen protector, but I don't know how easy that's gonna be. We've got the spinning crown here. Hopefully that has haptics and it controls menus. It had better. From what I understand, this might be a remake of a watch that was already available in Europe or something. Only 2 buttons, kind of bummed about that. Alrighty, here, we'll just give it a quick look. I am indeed left-handed, so I put my watches on the lame way. Let's see how that feels. Not bad. That's pretty good, and I can easily get through the menus like that. That's pretty cool. Hopefully you can also, here, you know what? I don't know if they'll have it in the settings. It seems to pretty much be per watch when it comes to Android, but I don't know if I'll be able to have it like this, because then I could scroll through the menus this way, which would actually be way more comfortable. We'll have to see. I'm used to the ring on the Galaxy Watch, but this is a little more standard. Everybody wants to go for the rotating crown lately, which is interesting, but we got the back there. Also pretty much just one big piece of, I want to say glass. I think it's glass. Yeah, all right. Cool. It's very light, actually. This is way less bulky than my Galaxy Watch. It feels pretty comfortable to just put on. It kind of disappears. Maybe this should be like my running watch or something. From what I understand, they did try to appeal to the athletic crowd with this one. I guess that's the point of working with Polar. I admittedly don't know very much about them, but yeah, that guy isn't going anywhere. It's pretty solid, so all right, cool. I guess it's time to end the video. My desk got all paper flaky again. Stop it. Ugh, this is what happens when boxes don't have plastic in them anymore. I understand why they're like this, but get off of, no, stop. No, it's just making more specs. Go away. All right, that's gonna do it for today. I know, just an unboxing, but man, I'm really looking forward to talking about these devices. This is a pretty big year for the channel. I know it's the first one, but man, was not expecting to have all of this to talk about. It's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited to just go over the future of Android and keep an eye on it, and I have a lot of other things that I want to talk about that I already own. Man, this thing is never gonna die. I've got tech to talk about forever. I'm honestly even considering just making a small video about this and trying out how they feel. We'll have to see how it goes, but either way, I am really excited for the future. The Lenovo Yoga Tab Plus video is doing really well. I'm really glad you guys appreciate the review, especially because none of this stuff is sponsored, as you know. I buy everything and I figure out my own way to get tech. Sometimes I get it used, sometimes I do trade-ins. Anything to keep covering stuff and to keep my tech working for me. This is gonna be a pretty cool backup phone to have, and even just to use it as a, no, I wouldn't say a secondary device, but again, as a backup, just because it covers so many things that my Samsung does, but it also just keeps in important things. I still think we should have headphone jacks on phones and micro SD card slots. Can I be honest? I smell the death of both of these things coming soon. I really hope Motorola doesn't do it, but some very bad deep down thing tells me we're only gonna get a few more years of this, so we gotta appreciate it while we have it. Gosh, I hope I'm wrong. But now that they're selling earbuds, man, it's only a matter of time. I hope I'm wrong, but we gotta keep that in mind. So this is the kind of phone I wanna support, you know? If we stop seeing headphone jacks and SD cards, well, cripes, there's not much reason to get one of these then, is there? Except for having a pen that Samsung doesn't. And even then, this, from what I understand, does not have Bluetooth. It only has a battery. So unfortunately, you can't use this as a camera shutter, which is a bummer. That's like the one thing I absolutely love about my Samsung. The S Pen is so good for that, and I just wish it had those little actions. But hey, who knows? Maybe the best is yet to come. Maybe we're gonna keep these features. And who knows, maybe we'll even get Bluetooth in the pen in future years. That would be awesome. But either way, now I have something to talk about and cover after this guy, which is unfortunately, yes, going away. So I know you haven't seen much of it, but I've decided not to keep it. So we're gonna move on. And we're gonna be talking about this guy now. And I still have the Surface Duos to talk about. I can talk about this phone before it eventually bucks the kick it. We have a lot to look forward to. So I hope you guys are looking forward to this new wave of Ctrl+Alt+Danominator. I cannot promise that I'm gonna get you a video every week from now on. Things are kind of slowing down a bit because I've been focusing on so many things at once, including full-time work finding, which is not the easiest right now, anybody in America knows. But hopefully I can still get this stuff to you pretty frequently. I mean, cripes, it can't take very long to make a video about a Motorola Tag, now can it? So until that next video, this is Ctrl+Alt+Danominator signing off. See you later, tech heads, and thank you for watching.